That's not the entire show. We still got our big segment.
There's more.
There's more.
Oh, wait,
the
there's
big
more.
5, right? Leslie Chambers, would you like to tell us your idea behind the big 5?
Yes, absolutely. Basically, the idea is every single one of us are going to celebrate the big 5, of course, because we're in the month of May, the 5th month of the year. So I wanted to celebrate the big 5 major monsters from Toho: Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Mechagodzilla. And each host has a particular monster. They're going to showcase one of their favorite figures of that particular monster. It doesn't have to be your super favorite, but it has to be a favorite nonetheless, just to give some love and honor to the big 5 Toho Studios. And since I'll just go first, I got everybody's favorite flying, fire-breathing, or at least gravity beam spewing, iconic space demon, King Ghidorah, or Monster Zero, or whatever you want to call him. Yes, he has 3 heads, big wings, and ironically has a roar that the science. He has a roar that ironically the Science Patrol used as their ringtone. I never really understood
That's
that.
true.
Never really understood. Now, just to break through it. Now, I am a huge King Ghidorah fan. Y'all know that. I have so many different versions of King Ghidorah. I think I'm at 9. I think I'm gonna have 10 before.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I have 9. And I'm gonna have 10 in maybe like a couple weeks or so.
Yeah, yes,
and of course, my favorite version of King Ghidorah is the original of Monster Zero. So you probably think I'm going to choose that one, but ironically, I'm not. I'm going to choose a King Ghidorah incarnation that doesn't get talked about that much, which is understandable. But still, I think it's a great figure that I have in my collection. And it's the Kaiser version, the Kaiser Ghidorah from Final War.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now,
Wow, that's
this
surprising to me.
yes.
Yeah.
Now this actually is the Goro kit that was made by Goro. That was made by expert artist extraordinaire Arcangelo Cervillo. I got the kit from Burley Bang. What's up, Burley? And I had Arcangelo build it and paint it for me. And this is the same kit that X Plus used to make their vinyl figure presentation of Kaiser Ghidorah. The exact same kit, right? And the reason why I want to showcase this because I don't think this version of King Ghidorah or Ghidorah gets enough love. It's not his fault that his film was a dumpster fire and a train wreck. It's not his fault. But to me, Kaiser Ghidorah is like Gabara or Batra or Space Godzilla. They're cool monsters, but they were in not so cool films. But that doesn't mean that we should hate the monster in and of itself. So I wanted to show some love to the 4-legged Ghidorah, which I know a lot of folks don't really like King Ghidorah in this figure, but yet they'll praise Death Ghidorah, and he's 4-legged. I don't know. The minds of some Godzilla fans really hate me at this point. I don't know. But this is a great figure. Once again, it deserves more love, in my opinion. And he looks great alongside the 25cm Godzilla 2004 to recreate that setup. And it's nice to see a version of King Ghidorah that actually beats the crap out of Godzilla every once in a while, because for all the many years, Godzilla has really beaten down King Ghidorah. But you have to admit, Kaiser Ghidorah really did kind of mop the floor with him before Godzilla turned into a Dragon Ball Z character. But that's another story. But that's my Kaiser Ghidorah, courtesy of Goro. Thank you, Arcangelo, Bang, and that is it. So, David, what monster did you choose, and what collector did you choose, good sir?
Well, I ended up with Godzilla, okay, because it's what started the whole love for kaiju and Toho and Japanese sci-fi. So I got Godzilla. And I think, Leslie, you of all people are going to be really happy with what I chose to showcase for my pick for the big 5. And I think you know what I'm going to bring. It is the absolutely gorgeous 50 centimeter M1 rubber skin Godzilla. And
so awesome.
you know, the criteria for this was not necessarily your favorite, but one of your favorites that stands out in your collection is undeniably awesome. And this definitely fits all of those descriptions. Got this, oh God, when we were still living in New York City, and from a place called Zaka. And my friend Greg Follender, who was my very first Godzilla friend in New York, it was just the two of us that really, went on, toy hunting safaris, etc. He helped me put this together, and we used coat hangers for the frame for the skeleton and duct tape and foam.
Ooh.
So that's
Wow.
it was very early in my model
That's
building
so
days. So I really didn't know what I was doing. So I definitely needed some assistance. And but yeah, this guy has been in my collection since probably 1992, 1993, around there. And you know, I know Leslie brought his
Wow.
to G Fest and we all took a picture with it. It's just an undeniably awesome kit figure. I mean, it's got rubber skin. The texture feels like you actually have a piece of Toho history. It's got the clear lenses, just like the KOC kits do. Definitely was not easy to paint. He's got a couple of scuffs here and there because the rubber doesn't really, the paint doesn't really hold up after all those years. So I got to touch him up from time to time. And he is a really big dust magnet, more than any other figure in my collection.
I bet, yeah.
But this guy, I'm just going to show him, you know, in his entirety.
It's so
He's
big.
He's awesome, and it's a pretty perfect sculpt. I think the only one that I can honestly say is slightly better, dare I say, the quintessential 64 representation is. God, I sound like I'm on NPR. Sweaty balls. You know, whatever. Sweaty. Sorry.
David
is the KOC. Now you're not going to hear anything else I say for the rest of the segment. So I did it to myself. The 40 centimeter resin KOC 64 Godzilla that's put together with magnets and pins. And I'm actually doing my third one right now for Rich Iso, and he's actually nearing completion. So Rich will be receiving his figure very soon, hopefully at the end of the week. So, look forward to it. And thank you, Rich, for your incredible patience. You know, everybody knows that I haven't been feeling myself lately, so I haven't really been motivated to do anything much. So now I'm back on track, and I got my model building mojo back. So I'm kind of stoked to finish that for Rich. So. That is, I think, is the very best one, but this one is a very close second or third or whatever. The X Plus did a phenomenal job. We all know what the 30 centimeter closed mouth Godzilla looks like. But as far as my big five, my go-to Godzilla, just like Leslie, is the 1964 from Mothra versus Godzilla. It's a perfect representation of the big G, and this is what I have to show. And thanks so much. And let's see what Christine Chapin has for her representation for her choice for Big Five.
All right, so I got Mothra. I mean, she's the queen of the monsters, and so the figure that I picked out isn't one that necessarily is like the most detailed or stands out. It's something that was a little bit different and cute. So this is the Sun Guts. Clear Mothra. Now this is the Gmk Mothra. So I picked this one because I think I haven't really watched the whole like Mothra Rebirth series. So in the Godzilla universe, the way she was in this, this particular representation of her was so different from the ones that we're normally seeing in the Godzilla movies. It's like a huge change from like the 64 and the 90s Mothra that we're used to seeing. But I mean, this one you can't really tell, but it's super cute. She's very small and tiny. This was a WonderFest exclusive. It came in a little set. Yeah, it came in a little set with like King Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Baragon. But I just think it's really cute. It's clear vinyl. It's very colorful, and it actually does have a lot of detail on it for being such a small figure. She's got the little pointy. She had in GMK kind of like the little like hornets, little butt on her right there.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I also have here the X Plus. You can, I'm sure everybody knows what looks like from GMK, but like, she's very, I know, I'm so glad I got this one. But I mean, it was a very stark difference from the 64. I mean, she's got purple eyes in this one, very, very different, brightly colored on her wings and longer legs, and the stinger she's got here. But it's just neat how there was, because you don't really see a lot of GMK Mothra figures, and it was neat to see like the difference of her representation between. I mean, here we have the little X Plus, very detailed, and then a little Sofubi of her. So I did have some pictures. I just want to talk about Sun Guts really quick, because Sun Guts makes some amazing figures, not just licensed kaiju from Toho, but he also makes his own original kaiju Kyle, I think I have some images. So this is Sun Gods, Tadayoshi Ichimiya. He was a director for like advertising back in like the 90s for like films and TV shows and all that. And then in 2000 is when he started creating like his own various original licensed characters. So here's like a Sun God, and a lot of them are really small. Like these are small, and a lot of his stuff is very like you can fit it right in your hand, and it's very small and detailed. But the Frankie and Baragon. And then a lot of original characters, like Shark Boy, like a lot of his original characters are really cool and they're different. There's a lot of different shark ones. Like here's another, I think this is Megalodon. He likes a lot of glitter, clear stuff. This one I think is really cool. Is Rabon? I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly. But I mean, definitely he has a lot of neat original figures that he comes out with that I think are really cool. Oh, this was recent, a sculpt that he did, a Godzilla 62.
I like that one.
And one that I'm gonna start hunting down. I've been wanting it forever. I just need to get one. It's called Kaiju Boy. Oh, this is one of his setups at, I think it was like Wonderfest or Character Fest but like he makes like you can see here like a lot of these are his original creations that he's made. The dancing cat. There's another one of Rabon.
The dancing cat actually. I mean, I mentioned Sun Guts before. We've talked about them on the show because these guys make yokai figures, and so they make figures based off of old ukiyo-e yokai artwork. And I think the cat might actually be part of that line.
I think it is. I should have got some of his yokai ones, but he's got just like, and this is the one I really like. It's called Kaiju Boy. Kind of is like, you know, throwback to Man in the Suit and all that, and it's really neat. And
I like that one.
I mean, I would definitely suggest checking out a lot of his other stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think this is you don't really see a lot of Gmk Mothra. She's got her little purple eyes. I don't know if you can see her in there, but and I mean, Queen of the Monsters. I mean, there's not really a lot of female kaiju in the films. That's my girl. I mean, she's the queen to me, Biolante, but I mean, Mothra's a staple in all the films, you know, and she really, the way she always sacrifices herself. Like, I always still chill. Like, what were we just watching the other day? We just watched, I think it was the 64 one. I don't know. It's always sad, though, like, when she always dies, like, right at the end when her babies are hatching, and she, like, goes to save them. I'm like, it's just so sad. Like, she always sacrifices herself for her young.
She deserved it. She deserved it. Yes, I said it. I said it.
Leslie, that is terrible.
The 64 was minding his own business, and then Martha wanted to come in when he wanted to have
some breakfast. He was trying to eat her egg.
Well, it's not his fault that she was an absentee mother, so she got what she deserved. Yeah, John, I said it. I said it.
So yeah, I mean, she's a staple in all the films. I mean, you can't think of like Toho Kaiju and not have Mothra in there. That's right. So who's next? John, who'd you have? I think most of us can probably guess who your favorite is.
in the show era, Mothra is the only one who defeated Godzilla. You know, so she's the
not really, but okay.
This is true.
The babies, technically the babies, yeah.
Don't start that, John. No.
Oh,
no.
Leslie.
So if you start that, hey, you got the MonsterVerse. You better take it and run with that. You can't have 62 now. You can't have 62. Sorry, continue, John.
Now, was I supposed to select a figure or just a item?
Well, I think selecting a figure or an item, it's if it's related to your big five, for you, the door is wide open, sir.
Okay, I'll land on a figure. Well, there's only one kaiju. Be classified as a kaiju, I guess you can. That out of the big five, that I would take over Godzilla, and actually did back in 1984, and that would be Mechagodzilla. If Godzilla did not exist, just give me Mechagodzilla and I'd be happy. It's just like, as David would say, the quintessential, Godzilla enemy.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I think you turned your microphone off, buddy.
Oh, come back, John.
There we go.
There
you go.
You're on. You're on.
I hit the mute button. Sorry. I got a new one too.
Too much excitement.
Okay, so there's many, yes, anything Mechagodzilla I try to get. And I'm a 74, 75, and a 93 Mechagodzilla guy. Now, when the idea came up for this segment, I mean, I just started brainstorming because most of my Mechagodzilla items are kind of buried, and I have the many figures you can't see. My Mechagodzilla is up above me, but there's many things I say, oh man, if anything in my collection I would love to just, could be special to me. Between my laser discs, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, little wheels of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the most powerful pipe, gotta have your pipe, that would be enough. A little pipe for
titanium.
Yes. And then, I mean, I can't leave out, the representations of, Mechagodzilla in print. I mean, this alone this book, if you don't have this on Mechagodzilla, you don't love Mechagodzilla. Okay, that's a book to have.
Ooh.
Gotta have that in the collection. But then I started reminiscing about my past, and this brings me around. So, growing up, you have to have your VHS.
Oh my gosh.
Mechagodzilla was everything. And one of my first Toho video,
I remember those.
And then
Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster.
Yes.
That's one I had, yeah.
If it's not going to be a vinyl representation, you got to have your Bandai, the Tokusatsu collection representation with this amazing Yuji Kaida artwork.
Wow.
Made it worth everything. But inside is a fantastic poster of Mechagodzilla.
John, you're supposed to pick one thing.
I know. But this brings me around. Here I'm about to land the plane. So, in 1984, Rocket Ships and Accessories, I always talk about them. My favorite shop, John Stanowski, knows about Rocket Ships and Accessories. David, I don't know if did you know about Rocket Ships and Accessories in Philadelphia?
No, I've never been there.
Gosh. Well, we've got to do a segment one of these days on our favorite shops. And I went in, and for the first time saw the Bandai figures, and they had the Bandai Godzilla 1964. But next to him was, if this, the Bandai, Godzilla, Mechagodzilla 74. I paid, it was $8.95.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I selected Mechagodzilla over Godzilla, but next week I came back and got the Godzilla. But Mechagodzilla was priority. So if I had to say one more thing, and this came at a time when I'm almost there, getting close to the end here. Okay, so
that was classic.
All I had for about 5-6 years. Aww. And I have 3 of these now, but my original, I wore the pages out. This is as close as I could get to Mechagodzilla. Thank God for Famous Monsters Filmland. But with that said, the figure, and unfortunately I don't know how to put anything together. I have to say the greatest honor, and if there was a Mechagodzilla that obviously means most to me, is the X Plus.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And being able to do the art for the box, that's everything. To actually have an official,
that's phenomenal.
Be able to create an official representation of Mechagodzilla, that's the highest honor I could ever have had. So this is the one, the X Plus model kit that came out.
You didn't mention that
that's
gigantic.
A good one.
You didn't mention that gigantic.
He's up, he's up on my shelf. I can't, I couldn't. It's so many. The 30 centimeter. It's the 225s.
What you guys don't realize is that John is actually broadcasting from inside of a life-size Mechagodzilla control unit in his bunker in Philadelphia.
That's the truth.
I believe it. I believe it.
The cast. I have a cast figurines of Mechagodzilla. It's too much. It's overwhelming, like to pick. But
I'm terrible. I just got my first Mechagodzilla figure, last month? I know, I'm so bad. I know, I'm sorry, John.
But I'm so happy.
I'm still waiting for my gigantic.
Still?
You're
oh my gosh. What did you see mail or something?
I don't know what kind of mail I'm getting. I've got no mail, but really fun fact about the Famous Monsters cover, John, is you probably know this. They were sued by Universal because they used the word bionic without permission.
Right.
So they had to change it to Cosmic Monster because Bionic was the $6 million man, Lee Majors. So Brian Mitchell was saying something about that in the chat room, but I remember hearing that story many years ago that they were sued because of Universal had it as copyright, the bionic name. So that's kind of an interesting little fun fact.
It is. So anything with Bionic Monster on it, you want to have it.
And it's funny.
So that's my pick. Kyle, back to you.
Oh wait, Leslie was going to say something.
Oh,
I was going to say it's funny when you think about Mechagodzilla when he first appears. When you really think about it, you only see him for maybe half the movie because the first half he's disguised as the real Godzilla, so we don't really get to see what he can really do until the very end. But yet, in a way, what little we see of him, he does leave an impression upon you. So I can understand why John is Mechagodzilla crazy, but it's just that monster that to me, in my opinion, the show of Mechagodzilla will always be the greatest version.
Yes. No, the meanest. Mean.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nothing against Heisei. Nothing against Millennium. We ain't talking about that crappy anime version. We ain't gonna get into that one. The MonsterVerse. Anyways, like I said,
MonsterVerse was mean too. I think they were the two nastiest ones. The MonsterVerse and the 74. I think they really drew a lot from.
Those are the villain Mechagodzillas.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a hero. The other two are heroes, except for the city. Who knows what that is?
Yeah.
Can I add one last?
Yeah, go ahead, John. John, go ahead.
I was just going to say what brought me to Mechagodzilla. I remember the first time I saw Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I was at camp and I got sick, so I had to be sent home a day early before everybody else. But I knew I would always know what was coming on because of the TV guide. So I knew it was coming on Saturday afternoon. And I was like, I've got to, this is it. And
so you got sick?
I did have a fever. I needed to come home.
So you were sick.
And I think I might have only been 12 at the time. And and I came home and that was it.
You had a fever and you've had a fever ever since.
That's right.
When it comes to Mechagodzilla.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And there's some things out there from Mechagodzilla which I had. Our remote control one. This is so much.
Absolutely.
So
excellent.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one more of the big guys left on the big five, and that's Rodan, and that's my guy. So many people know this. If you are new to the show or new to me, Rodan was my very first kaiju movie ever. I was in a toy store in South Carolina. I used to live in South Carolina when I was a little kid. It was probably 1977, and I was in the store with my mom, and I saw the Mattel Shogun Warriors Rodan on display. And I was a huge dinosaur kid at the time. I had no idea what Godzilla was. I had no idea what Rodan was, but I was just drawn to it. I was like, what is that? That is so cool. And eventually I did pick it up. The one I had as a kid is no longer around. I have no idea what happened to that garage sale when I was 10 or 11, I'm sure. But thankfully, I have some really awesome friends. And so this is my Shogun Warriors Rodan.
Yes.
And he's very fragile, very, very delicate.
I know.
I have it hooked up so that he hangs from my ceiling off this fishing line, which is lovely. But I thought I would just very quickly, without breaking him, try and show you some cool features of Rodan. Number one, I think it's interesting that in the 1970s, obviously Godzilla was being licensed through Saperstein, Hank Saperstein, but also he licensed Ghidorah and Rodan to be released as Aurora model kits. But Rodan, as far as I know, is the only other Godzilla kaiju that has been like released through American toy companies, at least in the 70s. So, and kids in the 70s, we didn't have electronic doohickeys that made all the screen accurate noises. So I'd like everybody to hear what the 1977 equivalent is to Rodan's screech in the movies.
Sounds like an old rocking chair.
Yeah, it's literally a
accurate.
plastic tab inside of this neck. It goes like a rocking chair. It just goes and like hits like little spokes. But you know, Rodan, he features an opening mouth and of course that terrifying roar. Inside of him, and I'm gonna have to be really careful with him. I'm not opening him. Inside of him, these two wings are actually attached with rubber bands, so that you can put your fingers in these bowling ball style holes, right? And basically move your hand up and down, and Rodan's wings sort of flap in and out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And like I said, they're held together with rubber bands. Rubber bands in 1977 were the epitome of technology for toys. And so there's another feature which does not work right now because you need a rubber band. It wraps around the claws. And what you could do, the way they advertised it, is that Rodan's foot could basically be extended, and then you put it over the top of a figure, and the rubber bands will clamp down on the figure. And you can fly away with them.
Cool. That's cool.
I love that. That was my favorite way to destroy my Star Wars figures was to have a giant Rodan attack. Anyway, so this is my guy. I love this figure. Actually, when the Shogun Warriors style was being reintroduced in the modern stuff, like the Super 7 releases, I know they did a Godzilla. I was like, dude, if they do a Rodan, I might have to buy that, because this is like my ultimate toy from when I was a kid, basically. And that's cool. You know, I'm super happy that I have it in my collection, but dude, this is a fragile mofo right here. Like he's amazing, and I'm happy to have him. But like the fact that I was like, dude, I'm gonna take my Rodan off the ceiling and bring him down for the show. I'm like, this may have been a huge mistake. We'll see how I feel tomorrow morning, right?
Don't break it.
I'm gonna try not to break it. Really try. But huge shout out to my main man Deva for getting this for me. He is amazing, and I absolutely love having this thing back in my collection. There you go. Our Big Five segment, everyone.